Welcome to 2023. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about my feelings towards McCarthy as the House Speaker. That's not going over very well right now with the vote happening live. Also, I'm going to talk about COVID. I'm going to talk about China. I'm going to talk about a whole slew of things. What to expect from me in 2023, how I felt, what I learned from 2022, and I think what everybody can probably even say that they learned from 2022, from the elections to everything. The rumors and how I feel about, well, I guess let's just say how I feel about Trump running, how I feel about, the 2024 election coming up, all that stuff. I'm going to cover a whole bunch of stuff today because it's been a while. I haven't been out on this for a little while because, holidays came, wanted to spend time with the family. I ended up getting that big bad COVID. Luckily I'm still not vaccinated. Oh, go figure, I'm still alive. So I'm going to go over a whole bunch of stuff today. I'm Laoch, and this is Laoch's When the Hammer Drops. So first and foremost, let's talk about 2022. 2022 was a year that, how do I put this? That the conspiracy theorist was proven to be right all along, from COVID to, stolen elections. I mean, look at Arizona, look at Nevada, look at, you have all these states, okay? You mean to tell me that there wasn't foul play in these elections? We already know that there was. And we know that McCarthy and McConnell, both, which I mind you are rhinos, didn't put the money into those states because they were Trump-backed people. Why would they? Why would they put the money towards the Trump-backed people when they're rhinos? I mean, that should show you right there. And that's why right now, today, that they're having such an issue. McCarthy, they've already gone through one vote. The last time that they went to two votes for the House of Representatives, for the Speaker of the House, was about 100 years ago, was the last time. I mean, that's got to say volumes. McCarthy tried once before. He didn't get it. He's trying it again. I don't think he's going to get it, but in the same aspect, I think what we really need to do is the people have spoken and they voted for Republicans to represent us in the House. And they need to unite. They need to come together something, because if they don't, it's just going to split the Republican Party, in two. And you're going to have your rhinos, and then you're going to have your Republicans that are, Make America Great, or MAGA, I guess if you want to say, but maybe they don't follow Trump. Okay. So we need to stop trying to split it and just, come together as one. And that's the problem. And that's another thing I learned in 2022 is that we were sold out towards the end of the year by our Republican senators and by a Republican House, Speaker, House representatives, with that $1 trillion or $1.7 trillion bill that they passed to give another $450 billion or $500 billion over there to fucking Ukraine. That, let's face facts. Zelensky is a puppet. He's a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck. Ukraine, not our problem. It's not another Vietnam. It doesn't concern us, but it does concern the Democratic Party because of all the biolabs that are there. And that is coming out good because of Twitter, because of Elon Musk being the white hat that he's being. And I'm quite honestly surprised by it. I still don't trust Elon Musk, because there's no way in hell I'm putting a chip in my head, which he wants to do, because he does believe in transhumanism, and I'm not for it. But what he is doing is bringing to light what needs to, and bringing back freedom of speech to a platform that was heavily censored by not only the FBI, but in cahoots with the Biden administration. Of course, we got to suppress that Hunter Biden laptop because that's Russian disinformation, but that was proven to be true. I mean, go figure, right? Yeah. And I posted this on the Facebook page earlier. How is it? You have Anthony Fauci, right? I want you to look at this. Follow me here, folks. Anthony Fauci, okay? You got him, who's the top virologist in the country, the doctor of doctors, right? And then you have his wife, who's head of NIH, who is supposed to keep Anthony Fauci in check. Go figure, right? No, hold on, let's keep on going. And then you have his daughter who worked for Twitter. And anytime that anything spoke out against Anthony Fauci, it was suppressed, or those people were booted off the platform thanks to Fauci's daughter. How have you people not woken up yet? If I have any liberals that actually listen to my show, listen to it, watch it, whatever, please, or a Democrat, I don't give a fuck. Please do tell me, how are you still believe in anything that this man's saying? I mean, the vaccines are horrible. Pfizer is coming out saying that they do cause blood clots, which we all already knew. I've been speaking out against COVID-19 and the vaccine for the last year. I have been taken off Facebook because of it. I have been taken off YouTube because of it. I'm currently back on, but I've been put on a timeout because I'm speaking about it. But yet you all say follow the science, and when we follow the science and it doesn't lead down the narrative that you wanted to lead down, that's when we're all wrong, right? But now 2022 has taught us that we were right, and the people that you are following blindly are just leading you to slaughter, essentially. Get the vaccine. Have you seen how many people have died suddenly? By the way, if you haven't, and I think I might have mentioned this in one of my old season 1 episodes recently, watch the documentary Died Suddenly. It will blow your mind. Look at all these professional athletes that are, I'm talking elite. They perform at elite levels, and they're just dropping like flies. We just had one this past Monday, just yesterday. And my thoughts are with him and his family. The Buffalo Bills cornerback, he made his tackle. He got up like nothing was wrong, and he dropped. And go figure, he was in cardiac arrest. And fun fact is that the NFL has a 93 to 95% vaccination rate with boosters and all that stuff. Come on. It doesn't take a brain. It doesn't take that smart of a person to put 2 and 2 together. Oh, but Laoch, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, so what? So then I guess I am, but at least I've been right. At least I've been right all the way up to this point about everything I've been talking about. Now, I'm going to stay in 2022 and I'm going to stay on the COVID kick because I want you guys to realize something. There's something that's not being put out there in the news, and so you're able to watch or anything like that. The first 3 weeks of December, okay, China had 240 million cases of COVID. Now, and this is from Epoch Times, which their whole thing is they know China. They know what's going on there because they have people in China that are reporting back to them. So they're a very good authority when it comes to knowing what the fuck's going on over there. And they're saying, this is coming from them, so YouTube, go ahead, go to Epoch Times and look up the information yourself before you decide to, pull this video or anything like that. Same to you, Facebook. Go to Epoch Times because it's right there. So 240 million people have been diagnosed with COVID. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Well, I want you to look at it like this. China, out of any country, I think they are at 95% vaccination rate and boosted and all that stuff throughout the country. Now, that's a lot of people. So out of those 240 million people, guarantee you at least, I'm going to say 99% of those people, 99.8% of those people were vaccinated. Number one. Number two, they are 100% masks all the time when you're out in public. All the time. So what does that tell you? If 240 million people in the first 3 weeks of December ended up getting COVID, that tells me that your vaccine, number one, doesn't fucking work. And number two, I had to do masks. Or number three, there's something more serious that's happening in China that the CCP is not releasing, and our government is like, they just recently just put on these travel restrictions for Chinese people coming over to America. But hey, what do I know, right? I mean, so this is stuff that you can actually read from CBS, NBC, and all that stuff online. They're not going to actually report this on TV or anything like that, because why should they? They're not going to do that because they don't want to worry the masses. But it's right there for you to see in black and white on the internet. So this is, another thing that's happening over there is not only you have 240 million people, okay? Another thing that's kind of scary that's happening over in China right now is the fact of how many people, the morgues are filling up. Like, they're at capacity. You have people waiting in cars to have people basically, cremated because they're dying at alarming rates. Millions of people have died in the last month in China. Now, another thing that our good old government doesn't want to let you know about is that there is a new Omicron variant. It's a subvariant to the Omicron. Okay. Now, what they're trying to say is that it is a lot more lethal than the Omicron variant. People that are getting this, and they're trying to say that this is what's going on over in China and what is now actually attacking in the UK. Hospitals are going to get overrun again. You have Italy and I believe Spain going back on lockdown. Well, take a look at China. If you lock down a whole country like China, like they did, and this is still happening, why would you do that to your own country again? It just doesn't make sense. So you have all of this happening right now, and they're not going to tell you on the news because they don't want to, because that's not the narrative. Right now, the narrative is, they're trying to sway you to, they want to try to take your mind off of the border. They want to try to take your mind off of who's going to get the Speaker of the House role, all that stuff. But they're not going to tell you about what's going on with COVID. They just can't do that right now. So mark my words here. We're seeing it. Usually it's about a month or month and a half out before it hits us in the States. So we're talking, I would say by mid-January, end of January, we're going to have a huge spike in Omicron. And mind you, I had my second battle of, like I said at the top of the show, my second battle with COVID. I had a scratchy throat and a runny nose. Now, one thing I did notice is I took it at home test. I came up positive and I was feeling fine. I just had that scratchy throat, that little irritation. And I went to my local immediate care, right? Well, my doctor, I got to go get an actual test. One weird thing that I noticed was a weird smell when they're sticking that up my nose. I'd never smelt it before. And then the very next day, it wasn't that bad, but I got worse than what I was before I went. So never again will I go get tested at a hospital or a doctor's office for COVID, because I think something fishy was happening. And it made me worse off than I was when I took the at-home test. And then, of course, the wife ended up getting it, and she wasn't nearly as bad as she was the last time. So I'll take my chances on not being vaccinated and, having the antibodies and doing what your body should be doing. And that's fighting diseases. But in a nutshell, 2022 taught us that elections will still be stolen, that conspiracy theorists have been right all along, and our government officials, Republican and Democrats, don't give a shit about us. Because if they did, those Republicans that voted for that bill, that $1.7 trillion late at night, they never would have done it. So the Senate stabbed us in the back and the House stepped on it. So those are my views on that. Now, with that being said, 2023. Where do I see 2023? 2023, I'm going to come at you just like this, but I'm going to probably come at you a little bit more vulgar. I'm going to swear a lot more. I'm not going to give a fuck. Listen, with this show, you either like the show, you don't like the show. Hey, that's great. I thank you all for everybody that's listening to me around the world. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys watching it and listening and spreading the word. But in the same aspect, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not. I'm going to tell you how it is. And my views have changed on the Republican Party. My views will always be the same on the Democratic Party. Independent, fuck them. You know, I don't trust them as far as I can throw them because they usually side with the Democrats anyways. Bottom line is I'm going to support whoever is for America first. That's it. I don't give a fuck if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you're independent, if you're blue, you're green, whatever. I don't fucking care. But I'm going to call you out on your bullshit if you fuck up. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. You know, Trump, my views on Trump right now, the DOJ, I honestly think I've had time to just kind of sit back and think about this and kind of look into it a little bit. The DOJ will arrest Trump. They don't want Trump running. And quite honestly, the more and more I think about it, I don't want him to run. You know, I don't want another Trump versus fucking Biden in 2024 because that's what's going to happen. And we already know that Biden's going to win in 2024 if that's the case. The way they, all these votes just, you know, these mail-in votes just come in late at night. You know, they win late at night all the fucking time. Arizona, you know, Katie Hobbs, who didn't fucking do a goddamn thing, and she wins late at night. You know, the Senate out there, same fucking thing. Nevada, same thing. Fucking Georgia. But Georgia, I mean, here's the problem with Georgia. You had Herschel Walker running. I mean, that just shows us right now that Republican Party doesn't give a fuck. You have, you know, you're trying to use Herschel Walker and his stardom to win a Senate seat, and it failed miserably. Come on. Herschel fucking Walker? Are you kidding me? You know, I'm not saying that football players are fucking dumb, but I'm not saying that Herschel Walker's dumb. But would he do good for our country, or even the state of fucking Georgia? Fuck no. So you put him up against Warwick, and of course Warwick's gonna fucking win. Well, what are you fucking thinking? You have... yeah, okay. Back it up. Let's get back to Trump real quick. Do I want Trump to run in 2024? No, I don't. There's things that have happened. There's things that I've learned. And Trump, he's not everything that everybody thinks he is, unfortunately. And I think as I dive more into it, and this is not what I'm hearing from the left or what I'm hearing from this person, let me make this perfectly clear. I don't trust a fucking Republican. I don't fucking trust a Democrat. I don't trust a fucking politician because they're all in it for something. Usually. The only politician that I know of right now that has gone into a public office not with a lot of money and still doesn't have a lot of money is DeSantis. That's the only one, folks. I mean, let's be fucking honest here. DeSantis has maybe I think his net worth is like a few $100,000, and he's on his second term as a Florida governor. And then you have all these other politicians that were kind of in the same thing. I mean, you look at Trump. I'm okay. You know, he was a billionaire before getting into office. Okay. And he's lost money. But then you look at somebody like Biden, whose net worth before, you know, the Biden crime family gets, you know, into public offices and all that stuff. It was like his net worth was like maybe 20 million or whatever. Now he's like worth over almost 500 million or whatever the fuck that is. How is that possible? You know damn well it's not speaking roles that motherfucker's doing. I mean, what is he doing? Like, just, is he eating Jell-O? Is he eating pudding? I mean, what the fuck? So, yeah, expect more of this for 2023. I think McCarthy will be a horrible, horrible House Speaker. He's a fucking rhino. He doesn't give a shit about us. But in the same aspect, I do hope that if he does win, that he keeps his fucking promise. I know that there's 5 Republicans that are, you know, basically holding it up, or not 5, like 12 or something like that. But I guess there's going to be, McCarthy has said that he'll do a 5 Like if 5 people vote for him that he's not doing a good job to get him out, so that kind of does give me some hope that he's like, hey, if I'm not doing a good job, it'll only take 5 people to, from my party to vote me out. So, but then again, that's also a bad thing because, you piss the wrong way one day, that's not going to be a good thing for you. You'll no longer be the Speaker of the House. But how shitty would it be if Hakeem Jeffries, a Democrat, wins the House Speaker when the Republicans have the majority in the House? Well, it's very real that could happen. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this one, because if Hakeem Jeffries wins, boy, we're fucked. That guy's a piece of shit. He really is. I would much rather have McCarthy. He's lesser of the two evils, so to speak. But I am hoping that in 2024, DeSantis runs, and I hope he wins. Nothing against Trump. He did great when he was here, but certain things that, again, like I said, that have happened that I've looked into, even he has to jump through hurdles. Let's just put it that way right now. And that's from what was going on in South Carolina, where they're planning on starting off. So with that said, I'll get into that a little bit more on another show, or another episode, I should say. So welcome back to the show. Welcome to season 2. We are going to get fucking real on this show. I'm going to talk about politics. I'm going to talk about everything. Politics, just everything. Because, let's face it, I don't want to just be the one trick pony that just talks about politics all the time. I'm going to talk about every fucking thing that there is. Whether it's Hollywood weird, or if it's, whatever. If there's something that you want to know about, feel free to email me at Laoch at whenthehammerdrops.com. Go visit us at the website. You can contact me there. You can also, I'll provide every social media or every place that we're at in the description below. Come follow. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us everywhere. It's only a matter of time before we get kicked off of YouTube. It's only going to be a matter of time before the show gets kicked off of Facebook, because that is what I'm bringing to 2023, is that kind of an attitude. It's going to be good times. So definitely keep checking back. Before we go, a couple more things before we go. One, I'm going to be doing some shows, live. Well, not necessarily live, but remotely from the comfort of my vehicle while I'm down in Chicago, to let you guys know what's going on. It's not going to be a video, so it won't be on YouTube. It won't be on Rumble. It's just going to be straight up on the podcast. But I'm going to do stuff like that as well. So you might get the show sometimes when I'm driving in my car and I just have the thing on and I'm driving. So bear with me. I'm going to be trying something. 2023 is going to be a year trying different things for the show. One thing that I will stay true to is who I am. And I'm going to say this loud and I'm going to say it proud. I don't want any sponsors. I don't want sponsors. I fund this show myself. I write my own stuff. I don't even write my stuff. I just kind of wing it when I'm up here. So the only person that does this show is myself. That's it. I'm going to have guests coming up in 2023. I know 2022 I wanted to try to get some, but certain things happened. It didn't quite work out, but 2023 we're going to make it work. I'm going to probably do some remote stuff. I'm going to talk about motorcycle culture. I'm going to talk about weight loss. I'm going to talk about everything. Reviews. I'm going to give you reviews on different products that I've used, whether it was for weight loss, whether it's for the motorcycle, whether it's for this or that. I'm going to do all that. Now, those type of thing, like reviews and stuff, will just strictly be on the YouTube channel. That's it. I won't let that go anywhere else. YouTube will keep that. If I have to do a whole new fucking page for it, I will. But we're going to do stupid shit. So stay tuned for season 2. Thank you all for listening. And we'll see you guys soon, all right? Be good.